start. All right, guys, welcome to our very last call of October. I almost said November. That's crazy. Thanks for coming on, everybody. We have some new coaches on here. We have Jennifer, and I know Donna's on here too, but her video camera isn't on. So welcome them, guys. They just signed up and they're super excited. So I'm happy to have them here. So tonight's topic is per request of Nicole, and I really like this topic. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to attract quality people into your business. And I'm going to tell you guys to start off, I might seem kind of like out of it right now. I've been having really bad headaches all week for some reason, and I can't really figure out what it is because I never feel bad. So I may seem kind of space cadet more than usual, just to give you a heads up. So before we get into it, we'll do some announcements and recognition like usual. Let me take a sip of water. So just a reminder that these were all of our people that were in Success Club in the month of September. So if you have not yet given them a big thumbs up or high five or congrats, let all of them know and celebrate them and make it a goal to be on there for October. Even if you're at Success Club 0 right now, you can still hit Success Club. I've literally been at Success Club 0 on the last day of the month and signed up 4 people on that day because I was committed to my goal of helping at least 3 people every month. So let us know how we can help you reach whatever your goal is for this month. I'm going for Success Club 10 this month. So yeah, let's do it. Let's help some people. Upcoming events, as you guys are very familiar with, I talk about this every week because it's so important. We have GoPro Recruiting Mastery coming up in December with Eric Worre, Tony Robbins, and Richard Branson. I do have tickets for 50% off, and I will be offering payment plans to you guys if you need that, because I'm committed to doing whatever I can to help you guys get there, because as I tell you all the time, events have been the most pivotal things. I don't know if that's the right word, probably not. The most critical thing for me in my business that has given me the most results in the quickest amount of time. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about my story with events here in a little bit, but anytime I've gone to an event, I've always had massive results quickly right after them. Like, I'll just tell you guys about it in a minute because I'm going to go off on a tangent. So that is in Vegas from December 1st through 4th. And then we also have our Coach Summit coming up in New Orleans next year in July. So make sure that you're signed up for that if you're not already. For those of you guys that are new coaches, if you hit Success Club your first 3 months in a row, then you do earn your ticket to Summit for free. Excuse me, my coach Rachel actually just hit that goal. So she's going to Summit for completely free for next year. So keep that in mind. Our Diamond Retreat we will be doing next year. Since I moved and we wanted to give more people the opportunity to be able to get there. So I'll keep you guys updated with details. And then we'll go ahead and get into it. So what you'll learn tonight, I'm going to be talking about how your vibe attracts your tribe, mindset, and how your mindset, like I say all the time, is 80% of the equation to success. I'm going to teach you guys how to make your dream coach avatar, where to find your dream. I'm saying coaches, but I really mean coaches or challengers, where to find them. And then I'm going to give you guys some bonus tips that I found when I was researching. So your vibe really does attract your tribe. I always heard that quote and it never really made sense to me until I started learning about the law of attraction. And now that I've created my manifestation community and I read about manifesting every day and I'm doing research every day, it makes so much sense to me now. Because the thing is that we cannot attract what we are not. We cannot attract someone that we are not. So if we want to attract in amazing people to our business and positive people, we have to be that person ourselves. If we're putting stuff out on social media that is complaining or negative or whining or whatever, then that's the kind of stuff that we're going to get back in. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't ever share your struggles, because I feel like it's super important to share your struggles. But when I do share my struggles, I always put a positive spin on it with some tips on how I got through it, rather than just like putting shit out there, like venting about how terrible life is. So I'm thinking of 8 things at one time. Sorry. So the thing is about your vibe attracting your tribe. It's not just the things that you say, it's the energy around you. Even if you're not saying anything, but you're in a low vibe energy because you don't feel well, then you're going to keep attracting in more of those experiences. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. And I know this sounds interesting, but Nicole and I were talking about this yesterday, so I wanted to put this out there. We will get weirdos in our business at times, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, but there are some weird people out there in the world that we don't really want to work with or be friends with, because if you're putting positivity out there, then everyone is going to want what you have. And some people are energy vampires, and they're going to try to suck all the energy out of you. So be aware that you will get weirdos, but overall, the energy that you put out there is what you get in return. So do you want to attract leaders? Then you need to be that. Do you want to attract motivated people? Be that. Do you want to attract people who actually work their business? Be that person. Do you want to attract positive people? Be that person. And the way that you can raise your vibrations, there's a lot of ways. I actually should have made a slide on this, but I'll just go off the cuff. There's so many different ways, but one of the most profound ways for me has always been working on myself. And luckily, one of our vital behaviors with Beachbody is doing personal development. But the thing with personal development is that you need to focus on what it is that you want to improve in, rather than just going through the motions of it, rather than just listening to a podcast to check off personal development off your list that day. The way that I have raised my vibrations and improved areas that I used to be terrible at, I'll give you guys some examples. I used to be terrified to quote unquote recruit people. I never used to post about the coaching opportunity. I didn't invite people to it. I didn't talk to people about it if they asked me about it in person. My palms would sweat and I would get so nervous because I was so afraid of it. So what did I do? I read as many books as possible as I could on recruiting. And I learned how to change my mindset around recruiting, and that happened by being at a conference. I also used to be really, really, really bad at showing up as I authentically am on social media. So I've read a lot of books on social media. I've read a lot of books about being vulnerable. There's one by Brene Brown. I can't remember what it's called. And having a coach, like I have business coaches that I've hired that have helped me with that. When was it? 2014, when I'm going to tell you guys about this story in a minute. When I went to the Tony Robbins conference, I had this big goal for our team. We all had the goal together and I really wanted to do it, but my mindset, like I didn't believe in myself enough. So that was when I discovered Think and Grow Rich and The Secret. And I went to the Tony Robbins conference and I worked very intentionally on changing my mindset. Right now, what I want to work on more is manifesting better things into my life. I mean, I've become really good at manifesting things, but there's still room for improvement. And I still struggle with negative mindset because I'm human. So right now I'm reading books as much as I can on mindset and manifesting. I'm reading a Gabby Bernstein book right now and another book on manifesting. So you just have to be really intentional on what your personal development is, because I will tell you guys that when I'm not seeing results in my business, usually it's because the personal development that I'm doing is not helping me with whatever it is that I need help with. So if you suck at closing people, that was another thing I was going to mention. I used to be terrible at closing people. Like I could not get people to sign up to save the life of me. But I read a book called The Art of Closing a Sale by Brian Tracy. I talk about it all the time. And once I read that book, everything changed for me. I think the amount of people that I was signing up quadrupled or more than that, like 6 times. I don't even know what that would be called. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat box about what personal development you're doing right now. I'm trying to fix my hair because it looks insane. So just type in the chat box and tell me what you guys are doing right now for PD. The Gabby Bernstein book that I'm reading is called The Universe Has Your Back, in case any of you are interested. This is the other one. I always forget the name. This one is called Ask and It Is Given, Learning How to Manifest Your Desires. This one's really good. So tell me guys what y'all are reading. Don't leave me hanging. Excuse me. Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within, magnetic sponsoring. Love it. That is perfect. That is awesome. There's more coming in. May cause miracles and back to meditating each day. Love it. Yeah, I've been like really, I had been meditating, but I was kind of just doing it to go through the motions, and it wasn't really working for me. So I've kind of tweaked my meditating this week too, and it has helped immensely. So this is what I was saying that I don't have a slide on, but I do want to talk about it. There are many other ways to raise your vibration. And if you don't understand what your vibration is, I'm sure all of you do, but your vibration is basically like the energy field that's around you, because how you feel and your thoughts become reality. So there's other things that you can do to raise your vibration. One is meditating. Another one is eating high vibration foods, which are things like lots of fruits, lots of veggies, things with a lot of fiber, nuts and seeds, quinoa, stuff like that. Being out in nature helps raise your vibrations. I went to the beach, when was that, Tuesday? Like I was feeling all kinds of fucked up in the head, and I was like, I just need to get to the beach. So I finished my work early that day and went to the beach. And ever since then, I've felt like a brand new person. I may still be having headaches, but I feel better mentally. Let's see, you guys type in anything in the chat box that you can think of too that help raise your vibrations. Exercise is one of them, which again, one of our vital behaviors. If we just do the vital behaviors every day, like doing those things are going to help raise our vibrations. Being around positive people helps raise your vibrations. I think that's a good place to start. And if you guys think of anything, type it in the chat box. So the second piece to attracting your ideal clients and your ideal coach is mindset. I was talking about this a lot a minute ago, but you really need to self-evaluate your current state of mind. If I'm not making any sense right now, because I kind of feel like I'm talking gibberish because my head hurts so bad, just type in the chat box and be like, Jessica, we don't know what you're saying. I kind of feel like I'm drunk. It's weird. So ask yourself, what are you currently telling yourself about the state of your business? Are you telling yourself that you're stuck? Are you telling yourself that you can't close people? Are you telling yourself that you're not good at this? Are you telling yourself you'll probably never reach your goal? You don't know how you'll do it? If you're telling yourself those things, then that's what's going to manifest into reality. That's how the law of attraction works. So I was actually on a call with someone yesterday, and she was sharing with me a little bit about how she'd been in a funk most of this year. Sorry, I just heard this really weird noise and it sounded like someone broke into my apartment, but they didn't. Thank God. And I told her that I could relate to what she was saying, because for me, moving from Hawaii to LA, I like it here, but there's been days that are really hard for me. So I understand feeling in a funk and feeling like unmotivated and doubting yourself and all of that. And also this time of year, historically, is the slowest time of the year in the fitness industry and in our business, but that doesn't mean it has to be, because it's all about what we're telling ourselves. So what I told her that I've been doing, that I actually started doing this when I got sick earlier this month, right after the Lewis Howes event, because that whole entire week, I kept trying to work every day, but I was so sick that I literally felt like I was going to pass out if I was on the computer for too long. So me being the overachiever that I am, I'm like, well, I still want to work even if I'm not working. So I'm just going to manifest even though I can't work. So I just started saying affirmations to myself. And I started thinking about different things. Instead of thinking about the fact that I was sick and that I couldn't work and I couldn't sign people up and that I couldn't talk to new people about this, I said affirmations to myself. I closed my eyes, I visualized, I meditated on it, and I kept saying to myself, I'm attracting people into my business even while I'm not working and even while I'm sleeping. And actually, the two of you guys that are on here that are my new coaches, I think that was the same week that you guys ended up contacting me saying you were ready to sign up. And then I had 5 other people that contacted me within 2 days of me saying these affirmations. They're like, hey, what do you do? Hey, what do you do? And then I just kept saying these affirmations every single day, and I would be specific about them and say, I'm attracting people into my business that are ready to work and ready to help people and are motivated. And I did this post in this travel group that I'm in, and I literally got 11 prospects off of that one post. And then I've just been putting that mentality out there or not mentality, that vibration or whatever you want to call it, mindset out there while I'm doing my posts on social media. And I'm getting questions every day from people about what I do because I'm changing what I'm focusing on. I'm not telling myself that I'm stuck or that people aren't signing up or how am I ever going to grow my business anymore. I'm focusing on what I want to happen because whatever we focus on is what we'll get. So if we focus on what we don't want, we're going to get more of what we don't want. I was thinking of a story to tell you guys, but I'll leave that for another time. Like I said, your thoughts become reality. So whatever you're thinking about is what is going to happen. And I remember when I first learned about this, when I watched The Secret back in 2014, I didn't really understand it as much as I understand it now because of the amount of research I do on this topic now in personal development. But I remember thinking it was so weird. Like, I'm like, why would I tell myself that I have this thing that I don't have, that I don't know how I will ever be able to have it? But what it does is our subconscious mind does not know if we actually have something or not. So the more that we say these things out loud, we're retraining our brain literally to think different things. And when you change your thoughts, you change your reality. So if it feels weird when you first start doing it, just know that that's normal, but you have to have the belief there that it will work. So just keep doing it. Even if it feels weird, just keep doing it. And I promise you that those weird feelings will go away. So like I said, it's just a matter of changing what you're focusing on. You attract what you think about. So you either are attracting all that you don't want or all that you do want. Like I said, this book actually has this one that I mentioned a minute ago, Asking and Is Given. At the second half of the book, it has like literally 22 activities that you can do in order to manifest better and manifest more of what you want. So I'll just give you guys a couple of examples. One of them is actually meditation and meditating on what it is that you want. Let's see what else there is. There's another one. I posted about this in my manifestation community the other day called the prosperity game. So you basically like take like a piece of paper and pretend like it's a checkbook, and you start out with $1,000 and you write out like on another piece of paper all that you would spend that money on, and you keep increasing it every day until however long you want to do it. And by doing this, you will end up, what you're doing is you're focusing on more of what you do want. So you're telling the universe that you're ready for it, and you're expanding your mind more. So now you're going to be able to realize what really is available to you. There was this other one, I can't find it. I don't remember what it's called. But basically, like if you're having a bad day and you just can't seem to think that anything positive is happening, then you do this thing where you just kind of look around your environment and start picking out things that you like and that make you happy. So like when I actually did this the other day, I was in my room and I was like, I really like that candle. I really like that plate that I have my crystals on. I really like my plant because it makes me happy. I really like my Himalayan salt lamp. So I know it sounds so weird and so simple, but by doing those things, it actually made me feel better because I'm like, oh, like I have a really happy Zen place. Why am I so upset? Like, this is silly. So if you can just do that and start stacking as much as you possibly can about what you like, then you're going to you're focusing on more of what you like. So the universe is going to deliver that to you and give you more of what you like. I'm going to pause for a minute, and anyone let me know if that did not make any sense at all. Someone said you lost me. What part did I lose you guys on? Type it in the chat box. I talk about this stuff because it's just like natural to me because I've been learning so much about it. So sometimes I might go off on a tangent and it might not make any sense. I know a lot of you on here are familiar with this stuff though, so just let me know. Something about the $1,000. Okay, let me open up the chapter. It's called the Prosperity Game. I'm just going to read to you what it says. Good. Okay. So in this process, you will begin by establishing an imaginary checking account. So there's no actual bank account involved You can use old checkbooks or just a blank piece of paper. But on the first day, you deposit $1,000 into your fake account, and then you spend it. So you make a $1,000 deposit, and then you write out the checks to spend those dollars. So you can spend all your money in one place using one check, or you can spend it for several different things using several different checks. The point of this game is to have fun thinking about what you would like to purchase and to enjoy the process of actually writing out the checks. So again, it's training your brain to be used to spending that kind of money, even though it's fake money. Like, your mind has no idea. It doesn't know. So it's going to start attracting in those things to make that reality. So it says to be descriptive on the memo portion of the check. For example, for a beautiful writing pen or great running shoes or membership at Gordon's Health Spa. You can spend it all today or save some for another day. We encourage you to do your best to spend it today, because tomorrow you'll be making another wonderful deposit. On the second day, deposit $2,000. On the third day, deposit $3,000, so on and so forth. And then each day you're continuing to do the same thing. You are focusing on what you would spend that money on. So does that help it make more sense? The reason why I was telling you guys those things is because when you do that, you are raising your vibration and you're putting yourself in a more beautiful state, Tony Robbins would call. So when you're in that mindset, you can attract in more things. And for what we're talking about, the topic we're talking about, you can attract in better quality people. Because I can actually go back and look at times in my business, and this is not to put anybody down, but where I attracted in people that were on the same level that I was, and I wasn't as motivated back then and they weren't as motivated. But when I'm in mindsets where I'm really happy and focused on good things, then I attract in better people. Okay, a little bit that helped. What part doesn't make sense? I'm going to keep going, but you can type in the chat box and I can clarify in a minute. Okay, so I told this story on a couple of team calls before, but I know we have some new people on here. I want to share with you guys a story about how I changed my mindset and went from 1-star diamond to 5-star diamond in 3 weeks. I was one of only 2 people in the whole entire company that did that in 2014. And normally it takes several months or even up to a year, sometimes longer than that, depending on the person, for people to rank advance to that rank that quickly, or just to rank advance to that rank, I mean. So this actually happened after the Tony Robbins conference. But what I did was I started doing affirmations in the morning and at night, and I wrote it on my bathroom mirror because I pee all day. So I knew that I would see it over and over. But this is just what we were talking about. Saying an affirmation is saying what you want in present tense, like you already have it. So I was saying every day, I'm a 5-star diamond, I'm a 5-star diamond, we are an elite team, we are an elite team. And I would do it as soon as I woke up in the morning and right before I went to bed at night. And it was written on the mirror. And I would say it while I was running, I would say it while I was cooking. I would say it as much as I possibly could, because again, it's retraining your brain to focus on what you do want to happen. So that was the first thing that I did. The second thing I did was I did personal development focused on that, like on that specific thing that I wanted to do. And mine was I really needed to change my mindset, because I was showing up every day and I was putting in the action in my business, but I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. And I learned from Tony Robbins that success is 80% mindset and 20% action. So that's when I realized I need to focus on improving my mindset. So like I said, I read Think and Grow Rich, I watched The Secret, and I went to the Tony Robbins conference. The third thing that I did was I had to learn how to overcome my limiting beliefs and fears. That was something that we actually did at the Tony Robbins conference, but you can do this simply by taking out a piece of paper and writing on the piece of paper what your fears are around your business or whatever your goal is, what your limiting beliefs are about that. So your limiting belief may be, I'm not good enough to attract in good quality people to my business. And then what you're going to do is you're going to write all those down on a piece of paper. And what we did at the Tony Robbins conference, you can kind of think about this while you're doing it, but he had us, it was like a 2-hour activity, but you can do it quicker than that. Just think about, okay, look at this list. What is my life going to look like if I keep holding myself back in these areas of life and keep having these fears and limiting beliefs? What will my life look like a year from now if I don't change? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? And when he started asking those questions, I was literally bawling like a baby. Like I was sobbing. It was insane. I couldn't stop. But it worked. I overcame those fears and I reached my goal. And another quick way that you can do this, this was the point that I was getting to, is on that, with the list that you have, burn it up, like light it on fire and burn it up. We actually did this in my manifestation community, and one of my healers that I work with taught me this. But literally when I did it, there were people in the group that did it as well. Like we literally felt like a shift within us, because I don't know, something about seeing that piece of paper on fire and seeing your fears burn up, it felt really good, because you just have to accept that that's not the truth. Limiting beliefs are not true. They come from something that happened in our past, in our childhood, something that we learned from. I mean, our country is so conditioned. I could go talk about this for hours, but our country is so conditioned that we have to do things a certain way to be a certain way. But I actually, after all the personal development that I've done, I actually try to do the opposite of what everyone else in this country does, because I think that people are fucking brainwashed. But that's besides the point. So that's where our limiting beliefs and our fears come from, is because of stuff we've heard from other people or stuff that we went through in our past, but they're not necessarily true. So you have to ask yourself, is this really true? All right. So the fourth thing that I did is I got clear on what I wanted, which was my goal. And then I took massive action. I guess this would be the fifth thing that I did, is I did not let, I should have numbered it. I did not let opposition stop me. There was so many days, I remember it so vividly, where every person I invited was telling me no, or my prospects weren't responding to my messages, or the person that I was trying to help go diamond, like, was having a really bad day and wanted to quit. I mean, so many things happen. But the thing is that when we get clear and when we put our goal out there, what the universe does is it sends us tests to see how bad we want it. And we need those tests to grow into the person that we need to be in order to reach that goal. So you have to remember that when you get opposition. The opposition is for a purpose and it's for a reason, and you can't get to your goal without it. The next thing that I did is I had lots of accountability, because I did want to give up so many times. And this is something that I still do to this day. I have accountability and I have coaches that I pay literally for every area of life, because there are many times I want to give up. There are many times that I'm unmotivated, because I've gone through massive life changes time after time this year from moving so much. So I have lots of accountability. And back then, my sponsor was like my biggest accountability. I remember one day, like it was literally 5 minutes ago, I was sitting on my porch. It was when I lived in North Carolina. And I called her and I'm like, Lindsay, I just don't know how I can do this. I was losing a lot of sleep because I didn't care. I was committed. And I was like, I feel like I can't even think. I'm so tired. I just can't do this. Is this worth it? Should I keep going? And that talk that I had with her, because I had that accountability set up, I didn't give up. I kept going. I took a break for an hour and then I went and kicked some ass. So that was another thing that I did. And the last thing that I did, I just mentioned this, is I figured out how bad I wanted it and determined that I would do whatever it took to get there. There was no way that I wasn't going to do it. So you have to be that determined. You have to just do whatever it takes. The goal has to be that important to you so that you will do whatever it takes. Let me go back to the chat box and see what else you guys said. Maybe it just seems silly. The game seems silly. Sorry, I have to log off for a few minutes. The car battery died. My husband's car jealous. Look at him. Enjoy. Okay, cool. All right. So along with the mindset too, anytime I'm in some kind of funk, usually what it is that I need is an event. The biggest jumps of momentum that I've ever had in my business have been after an event. The first event that I ever went to, I was so excited. I got past my fears. I changed my mindset. I got into action. I had the skills, or I learned the skills that I needed in order to reach my goal. And I ended up quitting my job a few months after that. And then, like I told you guys, with the Tony Robbins conference, I quadrupled my income. I became debt-free, and I started earning 6 figures just after that conference. And I go to 3 to 5 conferences a year, and I've been doing that since I started. I was telling someone this earlier. My first 2 years, though, I couldn't afford events, but I was still going. I was committed to doing whatever it took. And my sponsor always told me that events were vital to go to. And she had a 6-figure business. So I wanted what she had. So I listened to what she said, and I was coachable. So I put stuff on credit cards and just made it work. And I'm not saying that going into debt is something that I advise, because now that I'm debt free, I don't ever recommend going into debt again. I don't even have a car payment, and I don't want to ever have a car payment again. But I will say that I know without a doubt that if I would have never gone to all those events, I would not be here today. I probably would have quit after my first year, because stuff just wasn't clicking for me. And I was such in a funk and so unmotivated. And now, I mean, life can get to us. Like, we all have stuff that happens. And that's why I continue to go to several events every year. And, to me, my sponsor always told me to look at it as an investment. And luckily I had scholarships for my undergrad, and my master's degree was paid for by my job. So I don't have debt from school. So I was like, okay, well, even if I would have had to pay for those things, I still would have done them. So I need to look at this the same way, as an investment in my business. If I want to earn 6 figures, then I need to treat my business like it's a 6-figure business. I can't expect to earn this kind of money if I'm not treating my business in that way. So I just looked at it in that way. This is an investment, and I'm going to get back tenfold of what I invest. And I mean, obviously it was worth it for me. And the thing why events are so critical to success is because you cannot duplicate the same experience online. Like, I love getting together with you guys on Zoom. I love seeing you guys in the team page and on Facebook, but we cannot duplicate that same experience here on Zoom that you get in an event. The people, the energy, the connections that you make, the way that you feel, it's indescribable. Like, you just want to go scream off the rooftops. And being around so many positive, like-minded people and spending the day with them and sharing with them about your business and maybe where you're stuck and helping each other out, like, you just can't duplicate that online. So those are some things that I did. I'll go through a review real quick on what I did to change my mindset. Affirmations morning and night, personal development, focused on it, overcame my limiting beliefs and fears, got clear on what I wanted, took massive action, didn't let opposition stop me, lots of accountability, figured out how bad I wanted it, and determined I would do whatever it took to get there. And events. Let me stop real quick and see if you guys have any questions. Let me know below before I move on. The game, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I'm not explaining myself right. I'll ask you about it later. Okay. Any other questions, type in the chat box and let me know. Okay. So the next thing that I've done, this has been something that I've been really focused on this year, because many of you I've talked to about this recently on one-on-one calls, but I used to build my business just bringing in, like, I would bring in 20 people a month. And that was great because I wanted to help a lot of people, but I wasn't necessarily bringing in quality people that actually wanted to do this and put the work in. And I couldn't really help 20 people a month. Like, I would have no life if I helped 20 people a month. And I want to have balance in my life and work with people that want to do this with me and are as excited as I was. That was the thing I always told my sponsor before. Like, I just wish that I could have someone that just wanted this as much as I did and was excited as I did. And by doing this thing that I'm about to teach you guys, I will tell you that I have signed up some of the best people I've ever signed up since doing this. So we're going to talk about creating your dream coach avatar. And this is all based on the law of attraction as well, because what you focus on and spend a lot of time looking at and visualizing, it will manifest into your life. So when you're thinking about your dream coach avatar, I'm going to show you what mine looks like in my example. And I've probably mentioned this on calls before, but it's important to bring it up again because it really, really works. So when you're thinking about this, I want you to be as specific as possible. So list out as many details as possible about the type of person you want to work with. Are they motivated? Are they a great leader? Are they silly? Are they encouraging? What qualities of a person do you want to work with? And then look at it every day. Every day before you sit down to work, look at that person. And if you want to get really spiritual, you can pray about it. I've realized recently that I stopped doing that. But I've been doing that again. I've been praying about it every day. God, universe, whatever you want to call it, please send me these people. Please help them come to me. Please give me the words to say when I do my posts. Please give me the words to say in conversations to people so that I can bring in these people and help them. And then when you formulate all your posts, speak to this person. And when thinking about who is this person that's your dream coach or your dream client, it's you. So also think about what type of people you want to work with and have an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. So what I mean by that is, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. I'll just give you guys my personal example. When I used to bring in 20 people a month, I was meeting people every day, meeting new people every day. And I was in these groups and I knew that those weren't the kind of people that I wanted to work with, but I was kind of just doing it to go through the motions. And because I had a scarcity mindset that I didn't know where to find these people. I didn't know where to find these motivated, positive people like me. And I didn't think that it was possible. So I was just signing up a bunch of people because I didn't think it was possible for me to have an abundance of positive people. But then when I was like, no, I know that there's evidence that other people have businesses full of positive, like-minded people. I can do it too. I just have to figure out where to go to find these people. Then everything changed. And if you need help, I usually like to pray and ask the universe for help. You can meditate, whatever you want to do, whatever your fancy is. Doing those things will definitely help you with that. And ask other people how they find positive, like-minded people, or do research on it. Watch YouTube videos. Google and YouTube are literally the answer to everything. So this is my example of mine. I think I called her Kara, but give the person a name. I think that I called her that because someone that I was talking to that's a prospect at that time, I just met her and that was her name. So I made that her name. So literally type everything out, like their age. Are they single? Are they married? Do they have kids? Do they not have kids? What do they like? So mine are loves animals, free spirit, carefree, loves friends, wine, coffee, outdoors, nature, sunsets, sunrises, loves the beach, yoga, and wants to learn how to surf. And then I got more specific about like health and fitness stuff. So this is in present tense of who I used to be. And again, this all goes back to when we're writing our post, we're speaking to this person. So think Shakeology is just for weight loss or not natural. Previous binge eater, tried everything, even diet pills, worried friends will feel pressured or like I'm being salesy, loves the idea of love. So that's kind of all over the place, but that's how mine is. And the really funny thing is I was showing someone this the other day. One of my friends that's starting, she has a business on Etsy, and she was like, I just don't know who I want to help. So I was going through this exercise with her, and she asked me, she had seen some of our videos before for our team that Amanda and I are in together. And she asked me if this person right here in the middle with like the headband on, she's like, isn't that your friend that's in the video with you? Like she literally thought it was Amanda. And the funny thing is that the month that I made this slide, Amanda signed up. And it's just funny to me and crazy and random, like how much the law of attraction really works. So any questions that you guys have about that? I also believe that the month after I made this slide was the month that Nicole signed up. And Nicole's in Hawaii. I'm trying to plug in my computer, guys. All right. Okay, once I plug in my laptop, we'll keep going. I think somebody has done a question. What's the BFT? Huh? What is BFT? The bottom half you cut out? I'm so confused. Where does it say BFT? I don't understand. I'm so confused. Oh, what's the bottom? Oh, I get it now. Oh my God, I'm slow. Is that what you mean? What is the bottom? Okay. The bottom part says, think Shakeology is just for weight loss, previous binge eater, tried everything, even diet pills, worried friends will feel pressure to like I'm being salesy, loves the idea of love. Is that what you're talking about? I'm going to keep going, so just let me know. I can go back. Okay, so where do we find these people? First of all, think about the places that those type of people would hang out. My sponsor always used to say that to me, and for some reason, it just didn't make any sense to me until this year. But I think really what it was is like that I was in the scarcity mindset. And to be honest, like I just didn't feel like trying to figure out where to meet these people. I was staying in my comfort zone. But I was like, okay, I need something different and I want to find these people. So I've just got to figure it out. And sometimes it just takes time to figure it out. So I'm going to give you guys some examples for me, for where I meet people, for me being the spiritual hippie nature lover that I am. So vegan restaurants, juice bars, book signing events, meetups on personal development, Facebook groups on personal development, Facebook groups for books, Facebook groups for travel, conferences, groups for wannabe entrepreneurs. A lot of people that I have signed up this year, I actually met through Lewis Howes School of Greatness Academy. That's where I met Donna that's on here. Shout out to you, girl. So those are just some for me of where I am looking for the kind of people that are like me. So just think about the kind of people that are like you and what they do and go find them. And I will say that even in these groups, there are definitely some people that I have met that seem like they would be positive and they don't end up turning out that way. So if that happens to you, don't be discouraged. It's really just a numbers game in a sense, like, just keep going. So think about these questions where when it comes to where you're finding people. Do you need to change where you're hanging out? Like, are you hanging out where people that you want to attract in hang out? That was something that I had to like have a real talk with myself about earlier this year. I'm like, how do I expect to meet like-minded people when I'm not even going where they go? And then do you need to change what groups you're in? Again, this goes back just to the same thing with personal development. Don't just go through the motions. Be intentional about it. Like I think that's the whole theme of this call, is to be intentional because it pays off. Let me see if there's any other questions. Is that what the dream person is about? Let me go back to the slide. So yes, this is the dream avatar. And these bullets are who my ideal coach or client is. And the bullet points are basically describing myself, because the type of person that we want to work with is usually, well, I shouldn't say usually, it's people like us. So what I did is I listed out all the bullet points of the people that are what I did is I listed out all the bullet points that describe me, because the people that are like me are going to like all these same things too. And the people that I'm meant to work with, they might not like all of them, but most of them, the people that I'm going to work with are going to resonate with those things too. Does that make sense? Even the negative stuff. What do you mean by negative? I mean, like for me on here, I put previous binge eater, tried everything, even diet pills. Those were like the main two things I would consider negative that I put on there. I wouldn't necessarily I'm trying to think, like things that annoy me, I probably wouldn't put on this slide, because I don't really want to talk about being things that annoy me online, because that's, again, our whole vibration and what we put out there, we're going to get back in. So if we're talking about things that annoy us, then we're going to attract in people that annoy us. And I don't really want to work with people that just talk about things they're annoyed with and complain all the time. Okay, well, let me know later. Okay. I don't know why I found this picture of these cats to put on the slide, but I just thought it was adorable. So these are some bonus tips for you guys. And a lot of these are the same tips that I've already said, but I was doing some research to figure out what like other experts say to attract your ideal client. So this is just a list of 10, and many of them I've already mentioned, but I thought that this would be helpful for you guys. Excuse me. So number 1 is to know what you want. Number 2 is to create an ideal client profile, which is what we just talked about. The third thing is to know your value. So that means knowing and being confident about what it is that your product or your service does to help people, and putting that out there and being confident about that. how it helps people. Number 4 is to build your brand. 5 is to create a clear message and call to action. So whenever you're putting posts out there about your next challenge group, or whenever you're putting posts out there about your coaching mentorship program and accepting new coaches, your call to action needs to be very clear. Like if you want to call these kind of people in, then you have to speak to these kind of people. You can't just throw a post up and say, come join my next challenge group. You're probably not going to attract anybody. It's going to seem salesy, and you're definitely not going to attract your ideal clients. So you've got to be clear about what it is that you're putting out there. And if you need help with that, I'm always here to help you guys with that. That's something I've really been working on a lot myself this year. So let me know. Number 6 is to be where your target audience is, which we talked about. 7 is focus on your customers and the people that you currently have and how you can help them. 8 is always follow up. 9 is to provide consistent quality. And number 10 is to start a referral system, because if you have people in your business that are like you and you want to work with more people like them, chances are that person is just like you, so they have friends just like you. So I really just like this quote and wanted to share this, and then I'll open it up for questions. A dream is a wish that your heart makes. I think it's by Walt Disney. So let me know in the comments below, or just raise your hand at me if you have questions. Erica said you would challenge those things. Oops, I can't even read. You would challenge those negative things in your post. Like talk about why Shakeology isn't just a weight loss shake. Think about doubts you had before signing up. Thank you, Erica. You're explaining it better than I was. Like I said, my headache is making me like not completely make sense right now, because I literally feel like I'm drunk and my head's going to explode. But yeah, that's when I can't even talk. When you have like the negative things that you felt about it, before you started, like she said, you want to take those things and figure out how you overcame those things. So like before I started this, I didn't want anything to do with Shakeology. I didn't think that I needed it. I didn't want to shake. I was anti-shakes. But the whole reason why I ended up doing it was because I learned more about it, and because I wanted to be a coach. And I think it would be really weird to not drink Shakeology as a coach. We would be like, what's the word? See, my brain isn't operating today. Hypocrites if we didn't drink Shakeology. So that was how I overcame it. And just by trying it, like it tasted so good. I was like, why would I not drink this? Like, this is silly. And it's going to give me energy and help my hair grow and help my nails grow. I cannot talk, and make my skin glow and all that stuff. Thank you, Erica. What is a good way to talk about challenge groups and posts that is attractive to people? Do you mean a call to action post or just a post in general? The way that I usually do it is like, I have 8 things in my head that I want to say like usual. So I try to do it with a post that's like a picture of either just me or my meal or whatever. And I just talk about my workout or the Shakeology and how it helps me. And then I usually mention, that I'm so grateful. Like I did this recently. I'm so grateful for the accountability that I have from the amazing babes in our fitness tribe, because some days I just don't want to work out. So I'm thankful that I have them to hold me accountable and keep me motivated. So that's one way you can talk about it. But you always want to talk about how it benefits you. And again, this goes back to the ideal client slide. You're talking to the people that are like you. So you need to be listing out the things on how it's helped you, and just put that out there with your post, a call to action that's not selling. I didn't do it yet, but I'll show you guys. Well, I'm not going to show it to you because you can't read it, but I'm going to do like a before and after picture, a transformation picture, because I haven't posted one in a while. And I'm just talking about how lately I've felt like a busted can of biscuits. Thank you, Mother Nature. So I needed some quick encouragement. So I whipped out some old pictures. I talked about losing 60 pounds by doing workout DVDs, blah, 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 blah. And then I gave people like a list of tips that helped me to do these things. And then at the end of it, I said, don't ever give up, and just know I'm always an email away if you ever need help, prayers, advice, or anything. And then I put my email on it. If you don't have a physical transformation and you want to post about the challenge groups, then I would just post about something that you have transformed, like not physically. So if you have more energy because of it, maybe just like take a selfie or take a picture of like yourself and Shakeology or whatever it is. Make it personal. Like I find that pictures of us have way better results than a flyer. I don't ever post stock images. I don't ever post flyers because I just feel like there's so many salespeople out there now that a picture of me or my own food is going to resonate with people more, and I have way better results on those posts. So I would just use a picture of yourself and the Shakeology or whatever it is that you want to do and talk about how it has helped you transform, even if it's not in a physical way. Because I mean, one thing that I talk about a lot lately is mindset and how exercise helps my mindset. And that's the main reason that motivates me to work out now, is because I feel crazy if I don't work out and my mind is all foggy and just messed up. So that can be a benefit. Like you want to think about any benefits that you're getting from the challenge groups. Well, we're talking about challenge groups, yeah. So let me know if that helps. I seriously feel like I'm not making any sense today. I'm trying to make the most sense that I can make. So I hope that that I am making some sense. Does anybody else have any questions? I also think I need food. I'll give you guys another minute in case anyone wants to ask, or it doesn't have to be a question. It can just be anything you want to say. Why don't we end our call in a beautiful way by saying 3 things that we are grateful for today, because that will raise our vibration as well, and then we'll attract in better people. So type in the comments 3 things that you are grateful for today. I'll tell you guys mine. My first one is for Shakeology and the energy that it gave me when I had it this morning. And for all of you beautiful people that I get to hang out with, and you guys that are on here really are my dream people. So I'm grateful for you guys. You guys have been the people that I've been praying for. And my third one would be for yoga today, because it also helped me feel a lot better. Amanda, you actually inspired me to do the 3-week yoga retreat, and I love it so far. So tell me, guys, in the chat, 3 things you're grateful for. You guys might still be typing. If you see all these Facebook messages popping up on my screen, I apologize. I have no idea how to turn that off. Where did the chat go? My health, my family, new opportunities for family that just happened. Yay, love it. I'm going to stop recording now, actually, because I don't think people on the recording want to hear this.